शुक्लांबरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। Namaste. Now we will see the meanings of Shri Vishnu Sahasranama for verse 103 based on Shri Shaankara Bhaashya. First, we will see the verse pramāṇam prāṇanilayaḥ prāṇabhṛt prāṇajīvanaḥ tattvam tattvavit ekātmā janmamṛtyujarātigaḥ. The namas herein are pramāṇam, prāṇanilayaḥ, prāṇabhṛt, prāṇajīvanaḥ, tattvam, tattvavit, ekātmā, janmamṛtyujarātigaḥ. There are 8 namas herein. We will see the meanings of each of these one by one. The first nama is pramāṇam. Pramitihi samvit swayam prabha pramāṇam. Knowledge is pure consciousness. The means to know it is self-luminous. So, the nama here is pramāṇam. What is pramāṇam? That by which correct knowledge arises. That is, mode of knowing or means of knowing is the general meaning of the term pramāṇam. So the Paramatman is the Swayam Prakasha, Swayam Prabha. So what is the mode of knowing of Paramatman? So there is no mode of knowing Paramatman. He is self-luminous. And what is that self-luminosity show? Pramitihi samvit. Pramiti refers to the knowledge that arises out of Pramanam. Pramanam is mode of knowing, mode of correct means by which correct knowledge arises. So that is Pramanam. And Pramitihi is the correct knowledge that arises out of that Pramanam. So what is the mode of knowing the Paramatman? The mode of knowing the Paramatman is the light which is self-luminous. And what is known through the self-luminous light or self-luminous source of light? Samvit, consciousness. So the idea here is consciousness and self-luminosity. The mode of knowing and also the outcome of knowing are one and the same. The idea is the consciousness itself cannot be known through any other source. It is a self-evident, self-luminous, is always there to be perceived. Vijñātāramare kena vijaniyat. So that is the Upanishadic statement. How will you know the knower himself? There is no indirect means by which we can perceive the Paramatman. He is self-evident, always present, and is in the form of pure consciousness. So hence the Pramiti, the outcome of knowing, Pramanam, the means of knowing, is one and the same, which is the Samvit, consciousness, which is Swayam Prabha, self-luminous. External light need not be shed on the concept that I am awareness. I am in the form of awareness. I am the consciousness. So, and that I, which is in the form of consciousness, is not different from the Paramatman. So that is expressed beautifully by Acharya through this explanation to the term Pramanam. In the Puranas and also in the Vedas, we see the self-luminous nature, conscious nature of Brahman, the Paramatman. that is being spoken. Prajnanam Brahma iti shrutehe jnanaswarupam atyanta nirmalam paramarthatah tamevarthaswarupena bhranti darshanatah sthitam. So both these quotations, they clearly show that the Paramatman is Jnanaswarupa. The Paramatman is Prajnana, very clear knowledge, self-luminous knowledge. There is no other external modes that are required to throw light upon the nature of consciousness. So that is Paramatman. That is intended to be conveyed through the nama pramāṇam. The next nama is prāṇanilayaḥ. Prāṇa indriyāni yatra jive niliyante tatparatantratvat dehasya dharakaha prāṇāpānādayo va tasmin niliyante prāṇitīti prāṇo jīvaha pare pumsi niliyata iti va prāṇān jīvāṃṣca samharanniti va prāṇanilayaḥ. So there is a host of meanings which is conveyed as an interpretation to this nama. We will see them one by one. Prana may refer to the senses that merge into the jiva. So niliyante, so that merge into the jiva. So the jivatman, which is the nilaya for the prana, which means the senses. So the jivatma swarupa of Paramatman is indicated in the first interpretation as prananilaya or pranapana, etc., that support the body merge into jiva. So it is in the jivatman once again where prana, apana, vyana, udana, samana, the pancha vayus that support, nourish and sustain this body, they merge. So into the jivatman these pancha pranas merge. So being the nilaya or the substratum into which the pancha pranas merge, jivatman is prananilaya, and that jivatman is not different from the Paramatman Bhagavan Narayana. Previously, the meaning of the word prana was presented as the sense organs, the pancha karmendriyas, pancha jnanendriyas. During the deep sleep state, these all senses which are denoted by the term prana, they merge into the jivatman. Swamhi apito bhavanti. So in that sense, all these sense organs, they get merged into the jivatman, and that jivatman is not different from the Paramatman. Here also in the second interpretation, prana, apana, vyana, udana, samana, these pancha pranas again, they merge into the jivatman, and hence the jivatman is prananilaya, and that jivatman is not different from the Paramatman. Hence he is denoted by the term prananilaya. Or prana may refer to jiva. He merges into the supreme being. So pranititi pranaha means the one who really breathes. So it is the jivatman. Only when the awareness or the consciousness is there, prana will perform its function. Hence, it is not the prana that really breathes, it is the presence of the jivatman which makes the jada prana, which initiates the jada prana into its action. And hence, really, it is jivatman who is prana. Praniti iti prano jivaha, and that jiva ultimately merges with the Paramatman, and hence prana nilaya, prana jivatman, nilaya the source into which the jivatman merges. So that is Paramatman. Or the one who withdraws the prana and jiva, the supreme being. Prāṇān jīvāṃṣca samharanniti va prāṇanilayaḥ. During the dissolution, during the pralaya, the Paramatman withdraws, samharati, every prana, all the pranas, all the sense organs, all the pancha pranas, and also all the jivatmans which are denoted by the term prana, and where does he withdraw them into his own self. So he becomes the substratum, he becomes the nilaya for all that is denoted by the term prana. Jivatman, the indriyas, and also the pancha pranas. Hence, the Paramatman is Prāṇanilaya. It is interesting to note that the first two interpretations indicate the Jivatman as Prāṇanilaya, and the next two interpretations, they indicate directly the Paramatman as Prāṇanilaya. So ultimately, be it Jiva or Paramatma, finally all these ultimately point to Bhagavan Narayana. Hence, Bhagavan Narayana is glorified by this nama Prāṇanilayaḥ. The third nama is prāṇabhṛt. Poshayan annarupena pranan prāṇabhṛt. The one who nourishes the pranas in the form of food is prāṇabhṛt. So prāna, bhṛt are the two components. So bibharti means that which nourishes, that which supports. Pranan bibharti. What does it support? The pranas. So annarupena, so in the form of food, that which nourishes the prana. So hence prāṇabhṛt means anna, food that nourishes the prana, and that annam which is prāṇabhṛt is none other than the Paramatman himself, because we see in the Upanishads annam brahma. Annam is celebrated as Brahma. Hence the Paramatman is Prāṇabhṛt. The fourth nama is prāṇajīvanaḥ. Prāṇino jīvayan prāṇākhyaihi pavanaihi prāṇajīvanaḥ. The one who enlivens the beings with the vital air called prana. So prana and jivana are the two components. So jivanaha, jivayan jivanaha, the one who enlivens all the beings. Praninaha, all the beings are enlivened by the Paramatman, or they are made sentient, they are made to be endowed with life and life energy by the Paramatman. How? Prāṇākhyaihi pavanaihi, by blessing them with the prāṇākhya pavana, means the vital air, pavana, which is known as prana. So it is the Paramatman who blesses the jivatmans with the association of the prana, and only when the prana is there in the sharira, a person is considered to be alive. Yavat pranasthito dehe tavat jivanamuchyate maranam tasya nishkranti. So as this quotation from Hatha Yoga Pradipika indicates, as long as the prana stays in the body, one is said to be alive. When the prana leaves, and that is end of life. And who grants this prana to the jivatmans? It is the Paramatman. That is indicated by this nama prāṇajīvanaḥ. Na pranena napanena martyo jivati kaschana itarena tu jivanti yasmin etavupashritau iti mantravarnat. The Kathopanishad also clearly says it is not the pranas by which a being is alive, it is by the consciousness. So as long as the awareness or the consciousness is associated, then the prana will also stay. So though apparently one feels that it is the prana that enlivens the body, but even at a deeper level, it is revealed through this Kathopanishad mantra that even for that prana, what is the substratum or what grants prana the capability to enliven this Body mind complex, it is the itara, that is the deeper consciousness or the awareness, which gives the capability, which endows the prana with the potential to enliven the beings. Hence, that prāṇajīvanaḥ is Paramatman Bhagavan Narayana. The next nama is tattvam. Tattvam, tathyam, amritam, satyam, paramarthata satatvam ityete ekārthavācinaḥ paramarthasato brahmanaḥ vācakaḥ shabdaḥ. Tattva, tatya, amrita, satya. All these are synonyms that indicate the absolute Brahman. So, Acharya indicates that these are the namas, or these are the terms which are used in the Sanskrita lore to indicate the Paramatman. What are the namas? Tattvam. Tattvam is the foremost among them. Tatya, Amrita, Satya, and also we see Paramarthataha Satatvam. So that nama is also seen. So all these are synonyms. What do all these synonyms indicate? They indicate Paramartha Sataha Brahmanaha Vachakaha. They are the indicators of the Brahman, which is the absolute existing entity. So, what is the really existing entity? Paramartha Sat. What is that? Brahman. So, that Brahman is indicated by the terminologies in Sanskrita like Tattva, Tatya, Amrita, Satya, and Paramarthataha Satatva. The next nama is tattvavit. Tattvam swarupam yathavad vettiti tattvavit. The one who knows the truth, the true form as it is tattvavit. So here we see two components, tattva and vit. Vettiti vit means the one who knows. What does he know? Tattvam. He knows the tattva. As we have seen previously, tattva refers to the absolute entity that really exists. That which is not in the relative realm, that which is the absolute ultimate reality, that is indicated by tattva. Acharya goes one step further. He says that the one who knows that this ultimate reality, the supreme consciousness, is one's own form, swarupam. It is not something above, something beyond, something far away, or something other than me. The one who knows this tattva, the paramartha, satya, the Brahman, the Satchidananda Swarupa, Satchidananda Rupa as one's own Swarupa. One who knows this, that this Satchidananda Rupa is one's own form, he is Tattvavit, and Bhagavan Narayana is always established in this awareness that I am Satchidananda Swarupa. And that is indicated by this nama, Tattvavit. The seventh nama is ekātmā. Ekaschasavatma cheti ekātmā. The one and only Atman is ekātmā. So Eka and Atma are the two components. Atman is pure consciousness. And Eka, how many are those? That is only one. Just now we saw in the previous interpretations that Paramartha Sat, the absolute existing entity, the real existing entity, the ultimate reality, how many of them are there? Ekam. Ekameva advitiyam. So only one Atman remains, only one Atman is the reality, and that is Bhagavan Narayana, the pure cosmic all-pervasive consciousness. Atmava idameka evagra asit. So what existed before everything? The Atman. What is existing now? It is the Atman. And what will exist even after now? So that is the Atman. So the real and only existing entity in reality is the Atman. All others are appearances. So the same nature of the ultimate and only nature or only existing nature of the Paramatman is indicated by Smriti Vakyas also, like Yachapnoti Yadadatte. So they also convey the idea that it is only the Atman that really exists. The eighth nama is janmamṛtyujarātigaḥ. Jayate, asti, vardhate, viparinamate, apakshiyate, nashyati. Iti षड्भाव विकारान् अतीत्य गच्छति इति जन्म मृत्यु जरातिगः. Born, exists, grows, transforms, deteriorates, and gets destroyed. All that exists undergo these stages. The one who transcends and goes beyond this is janmamṛtyujarātigaḥ. So here in this nama, we see four components: janma, mrityu, jara, atiga. There are four components. Janma is birth, mrityu is death, jara is aging, atiga means atigachati, atitya gachati, the one who has transcended and goes beyond. So the one who transcends and goes beyond birth, death, and aging. So there are three components which are indicated in this nama, but Acharya says, quoting or based on the teachings from the Nirukta, he presents the Shad Bhava Vikara. It has been stated in summary in this nama the three changes that any entity that is perceived to exist, so that undergoes birth, death, and aging. Whereas in the Nirukta Shastra, we see Shad Bhava Vikaras. Vikaras are changes or modifications, of whom Bhavas means those that exist. Bhavati iti Bhavaha. All that exists, they undergo Vikara. All that is apparently perceived to exist, so they undergo Bhava Vikaras. How many of them? How many Vikaras are there? Shad Bhava Vikaras. What are those? Jayate means that which is born. So the birth, taking birth, which is indicated in the nama itself, janma. And then when an entity is born, then it is termed as asti, it exists. And then that entity which has born and which has come into existence, it grows. And then viparinamate, then it matures, it transforms as a child, transformed into an adult. So viparinamate, it attains from childhood, it attains a transformation, it attains adulthood, and it matures. And from there, apakshiyate, at the end of adulthood, the old age sets in, and then apakshiyate, that is indicated by jara. And then finally nashyati, which is indicated in the nama as mriyate, mrityu. So all that exists apparently, all that is born, undergoes these shad bhava vikaras. So all the jivatmans in their way as various species, who are born as various species, they undergo all these shad bhava vikaras, which are stated in summary in the nama with three components: birth, death, and aging. Whereas there are six modifications. So Paramatman is the one who goes beyond this, who is always constant, who does not change, because he is the ultimate reality. That Satchidananda Swarupa does not change, is not born, does not come into existence, does not grow, does not transform or mature, does not deteriorate, and it never gets destroyed. So which always remains constant, steady, pure, unchanging, Satchidananda Swarupa. So that is indicated by this nama janmamṛtyujarātigaḥ. न जायते म्रियते वा विपश्चित् इति mantravarnat. Even in the Kathopanishad, the same idea that Bhagavan has transcended birth, death, etc. So that is indicated in the Kathopanishad also. So thus, in the verse 103, with these 8 namas, we have completed 966 namas. Om Tat Sat Shri Krishnarpanamastu.